It's like the teenager who comes in the room and they haven't bathed and they have BO. You're like, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're already bad company and now you stink. Go and have a shower. This mustard is like that.
Hello, I'm Fern Brady, and this is What a Combo, the food podcast where guests share some delicious, some bizarre, and some frankly downright awful food pairings. They're going to pick their snacking combo, they'll pick their wild combo, and then finally we come up with a twisted combo, which is a dish put together by the twisted scientists in our test kitchen. If you're listening to the show, why not watch us on YouTube as well? You can head over to Twisted's YouTube page and you'll find us there. And if you're watching already, hello! Today's guest, if you chuck in a dollop of ice cream with a wad of £50 notes, half a dozen hot eggs, a slug of whiskey, some curry on toast, all garnished with some thinly sliced fresh mangoes, it's comedian Sindhu Vee!
Hello! That is I love being called ice cream with 50-pound notes. Oh.
We've eaten quite a lot of meals together, I think, from gigs.
We've eaten in places that other people might be like, what is there to eat here? And we're like, we'll find it.
The Live at the Apollo dressing room.
There you go. I didn't eat though.
Nervously ate sweets.
Oh yeah, candy. I was eating candy.
Yeah.
Right. You had that wonderful burgundy suit.
Oh yeah.
That.
It was such a nervous day. I'm going to kick off with our first course. It's a snacking combo, which is a combination of foods you love to graze on. What have you brought in for me? I don't know what this is at all.
Let's go. 1,
Ready?
2, 3.
Oh, this is what I had for breakfast.
Thank you. So I said to them, I'll do a food podcast with Fern because she gets food.
I have this every day.
Okay, but just really, before you do anything, wait. You know how some people don't understand how to eat a banana with peanut butter? There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you peel the banana, but you don't put peanut butter on it. Just follow me.
Okay.
You said earlier I sound like I'm an authority. On this I am. Okay. The big mistake people make is they get the banana and they cut it or something. Or you know how people do this? That's so gross.
What?
They break off a bit of banana, then they have the banana you bit in their hand.
Have you ever seen this thing where
don't
where you
gross. What are you going to do?
If you push down into the top of the banana.
Oh my God.
Why are you upset? Look. It splits into 3 sections.
That's great. Look at your finger though. Oh, okay. Anyway.
Am I not allowed to do that?
No, please do it. Now. It's too late. The banana's not going to come together now. Okay. So what you do is you take a little bite of the banana and you need the flat bit.
This isn't how I do it.
No, okay. You need the flat bit because that's the vehicle. Now you have 3 flat bits.
Yeah.
Very good.
Do you not think that's a cool trick?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Push your finger.
Yeah. But Fern, I have kids.
Okay.
That's the kind of thing you would do. And I'd be like, go.
You're such a stern mum as well. I've heard you on the phone to them.
Yeah, I am a little bit scared. Then you take peanut butter and then you have the flat bit is the vehicle for the peanut butter, you see?
This is basically how I eat it because I do have this every day for breakfast. And I just get a spoon and put the peanut butter on top.
Well, you get a spoon and stuff peanut butter in the gaping hole you've created with your finger.
Well, as I was doing that, I was like, what I've done is actually better because I've created a sort of hollow in the banana.
Okay, but bro, your banana to peanut butter ratio is wild in that system. Mm-hmm. It's wild. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, would you like some banana with your peanut butter? This, I think, is the right ratio.
I feel like you're a very cautious, mindful eater, whereas I'm the opposite way. I do put loads on.
Yeah, well, but you can also, I don't think it's about caution as much as it is about if I had to do this in a public place and I didn't have a napkin, then I wouldn't want my fingers to get gross.
I know, I just wanted to impress you, but I realise I've done the opposite.
No, it was very impressive.
There's little sea salt flakes. They're adding a lot. Would you say you're into food generally?
Oh my God, I love eating. Mm-hmm. One of my kids said to me a couple of months ago, why are you always eating? Why are you always eating? And I was like, well, I don't know, I love it. I love eating.
Did you learn to cook as a child or as an adult? I'm saying that as if this is cooking. It's not.
Yeah, well, it's a snack. It's important. What I learned from a very young age was not to eat things that came out of a packet because my mother hated it. Mm-hmm. But I had to learn to cook because I was supposed to have an arranged marriage, remember? remember. Like, I don't know why you would know that. But so you had one of the skills you had to have as a girl was cooking. So my mom used to try and teach me, and I refused to learn. So she would make me stand in the kitchen. I would close my eyes and say, I'm not going to watch. And then she would shout out the instructions. So they would go in my ears. So that's how I learned to cook, really.
But you're married to that big Danish fella now, and that wasn't arranged.
No. Danes don't like to arrange their marriages to us, or to anyone for that matter.
What food's he into, by the way? Because I love Danish food.
Ice cream. Oh, he likes bread and cream. Yeah, like very big on bread and cream and ice cream. And he doesn't eat a lot of meat, but he will eat a steak every once in a while. I'm vegetarian, so I don't have that experience. Yeah, I mean, he's not a very fussy eater. But the thing is, which we were just talking about last week, him and I, which we've never really mentioned, is we both, if we eat something we like, we start singing. Like,
All right, sorry, I thought
not
you
like
meant
breaking into opera song, no.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but
what
like,
I
and so that's something we didn't notice. And then we thought, what have the kids been thinking all this time, watching the two of us like weirdos?
It's something I've only seen children do. Does he? You're saying he likes bread. Does he like that ruggebrod? Is that how you say it? Did he get you into any of that?
In the beginning, yeah. You know, when you first fall in love, you do all that weird that the other one's like, oh, try this. You're like, okay. Then you're like, no. No, rye bread. Yeah, I think he likes it in Denmark, you know. When he goes back to Denmark, he goes right back to his roots. It's a rye bread with cold stuff on it. Loves that.
Do you remember when we were in Johannesburg and we went to that place with a nice breakfast? I went to order something. I think it was like some fancy sago pudding thing. And you were like, this is not breakfast, this is dessert.
This is dessert. Why are you having dessert for
It like
breakfast?
really sticks in my head. Because I do sometimes think that about some breakfast. And that was the one day I was going to order a thing like that. So then I was like, I'll have scrambled eggs and toast, please.
And I was like,
and then I just copied your order.
Well, because I think that, like, I think you can have that, but you have to have it with the other bits of your food, you know? Like my children, before going to school, I used to stuff them with, you need dairy, you need protein, you need vegetables. You can't have a piece of toast and go to school. What are you doing?
You can't have just a piece of toast.
No, you have to have some protein. But of course, now they've grown up and they have a piece of toast and go to university. And I'm like, well, fine. Not from the house, but that's what they tell me they eat.
What was toast, banana, and peanut butter?
That's good.
Okay.
So peanut butter's got protein and banana's very good carbs.
I haven't seen you in a year because you've been in a film. You were in Matilda. It was a big screen debut. That was wild. I didn't even know till I saw the trailers. It was Matilda the musical. It was on Netflix. What was it like to be involved with it? What was the food like on set? Because you know sometimes it is just junk food.
It is a lot of craft. I mean, I think all craft, unless you're so far. What I've learned from being part of acting, not just this film, but other stuff. So I've been on different sets. If you're like the big cheese and you have your own food, that's fine. But otherwise, craft is tricky because it's a lot of food that, you know, it's high energy food. So you get a boost because you're on set for so long. It's not necessarily the world's healthiest, but they have options. Matilda, I can't remember what I ate. I was just delighted I would show up delighted and then be petrified the whole day that I was going to f*** it up somehow, that I was going to forget my lines, which I did routinely. And Alicia, who plays Matilda, was so wonderful. She knew all my lines. And she would say, this is what you have to say now, Mrs. Phelps.
Oh,
she was so lovely. I love that kid.
That's wild, a little child professional. Was it in the UK?
Yeah.
Was it filmed in the UK?
Yeah.
And did this, I haven't seen, I've seen the original film, but I haven't seen this one. But has it got the Bruce Bogtrotter chocolate cake in it? Big
time. And that's actually quite a disturbing scene. In the film, when I watched it in the premiere, I had to leave. I couldn't take it.
Really?
Because I went to quite a strict boarding school. And I was like, oh, I don't. You know, the thing about that is when you get older, you look back and you think, oh, but I was a kid. And I remember watching that and being like, oh, no, I can't watch this. And it was weird. I had to get up and I went outside.
Why did they have a similar thing at your school where someone was forced to eat
No, it was
cake or
no.
something?
I think the thing about it is that it's a scene of like, as a child, you're just, the authority is so strong and you can't get away from it. You're getting sick and they don't care.
You were saying about your boarding school. Was there any, because there's some stuff people had to eat at school that they now never eat as an adult. Like for British school kids, apparently rice pudding used to be a massive thing people hate as adults because they made them eat it at school. Were you at boarding school in India, and what did you have day to day?
Rice and dal, which I hate. But I mean, I'll eat it now and I make it better. But it's just rice and dal, lentils and rice.
For breakfast as well?
No, breakfast was always bread and butter and sort of breakfasty, think cornflakes. But the main meal of the day when you're super hungry, you know, because you've had a big day and then you have to go back to class, it was rice and dal. And it was just, to say it had no taste gives taste a bad. I'm like, I don't know how to make it sound worse. It was sort of just, it was gross, and that was all you had. And I was vegetarian because my family's vegetarian, so that was it. And you would just sit there like the whole time. I think the problem was I had grown up from 5 to 10 at an American school in the Philippines. So I'd grown up at home, and my mother was a major cook, and we had chocolate chip cookies, and I had ice cream and Rocky Road, and I watched Scooby-Doo. Then I went to this boarding school in India, and it was like, what is this? And so I wasn't even that used to Indian food, let alone extremely Indian food.
That's what because I didn't know you lived in the Philippines till today when they gave me the script.
Yeah. That's why I learned to speak English. That's why my English can sound sometimes slightly American.
Oh, right. So you weren't having Filipino food at that school. You were having American food.
No, at the school you came home. It was like it went from like 8 to 1. So we just took a snack. And my mother she was very Indian about those snacks. I was very embarrassed by my snacks because she always used to put yesterday's food in a tiffin box, like a lunch box. And it was always like a paratha or something. And all the other kids, I remember there were these twins, Mandy and I don't remember the other, Abby and Mandy. And they had matching ribbons in their hair and they were blonde. I was the only non-white kid in the class. And they would have these matching lunch boxes with like whatever the new, you know, Barbie or whatever, and then you would open it and they had a flask that matched, and they always had like Tang, and they had these sandwiches that were cut, and they had like little cheese in a wrapper. I had a paper bag with like a banana that had been, you know, sort of aggressed in some way. And then, or like yesterday's paratha rolled up with potato, and I would, as soon as I would open it, you'd be like, you know, as a kid.
Parathas are amazing though. That's like the best bread.
Not when you're 6 and 7 and you're the only kid who looks different. Everyone called me Blackie in the class to start with.
Right.
Which but they used to say it with so much anger that I didn't like it. So I went home and I told my mom, I was like, oh, they all call me Blackie. And I said, why do they do it? She said, because they are very fair and you are quite dark. What's the problem?
Oh,
and I was like, oh. She said, you should shout at them. Shut up, you whiteys. So I did. That did not make me any friends. Then I had the freaking aggressed banana and yesterday's Indian food.
I was going to say, going back to your husband, have you ever, I mean, I can't imagine this, combined Danish and Indian foods at home?
Trying to combine Danish and Indian food is like, it's not even, I don't think it's fair to either cuisine. Because Indian food starts with turmeric and chili and coriander.
I'm trying to think what Danish food's flavoured with.
I'll tell you what Danish food's flavoured with. Salt.
Yeah.
Butter. They do great with butter.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, they'll be like, this salmon has dill in it.
Yeah.
And you're like,
that's one thing.
Dill? And it's like these green, thin leaves. And I was like, and that's the seasoning. And I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying they live up there, you know, in the dark and in the water, and they had to go out and conquer and rape and pillage. They were busy, man.
That's the end of this course. It's an easy one for me to mark. I give it 5 bananas out of 5. It's something I eat every day. And you leveled it up by putting this fancy, flaky salt in it. So thank you for not giving me a horrible snack.
No, absolutely. But are you going to eat it with the hole in the middle of the banana? You are, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll always think of your look of disgust.
Well, as I did. I think it was surprise. I was like, what is going on with that banana? But to be fair, it opened up like a flower.
Yeah, it's a trick if you're ever making a banana split. Now you'll remember and you'll be like, I'm glad she taught me that.
I'm glad she taught me that.
It's wild combo time. Sindhu, this is your guilty pleasure, and it's going to be the food combo that only you could put together. Your first choice was good, so I'm trusting that this is going to be nice.
It's going to be fabulous.
Not disgusting to me. Are you ready?
Yes. Ta-da!
Oh, what is it?
Okay.
Right, talk me through what this. I'm going to describe.
No. You're going to get put off if you don't.
Yeah, the bread feels like plastic prop bread.
Well, I'm gluten-free, so the
Right.
bread always tastes like plastic to me. This is a ketchup sandwich.
Oh dear.
Look. It's got a bit of ketchup, some butter, and some pickles.
Oh dear.
It's so good. Have a bite. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I could see that there was little tiny green bits in it, and
Even through the bread, it's great. Fern.
I think gluten exists for a reason, man.
I know, but the sandwich is gluten-free now, but I've been eating this since before I was 10 years old, and I used to have just plain supermarket bread.
When did you start eating this, and why? Were you skint?
No, I was very young. I mean, all kids are skinned, I suppose.
This is definitely something a 4-year-old could make while their mum's in bed. That's
Right.
exactly what it reminds me of.
Well, there you go. You see, what happened was, and this is a very specific origin story of this sandwich. You know, I told you we lived in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. I was a very annoying child.
Sorry,
Is it that bad?
maybe it's just me and I'm really sensitive.
Well, but can you see how the flavors go together?
What I will say is the Twisted Food Lab they've chopped the pickles really finely, so it made me think that you'd put some specialty ingredients on it.
It's butter, ketchup, and pickle.
Oh, there's butter on it as well.
Do you not like butter?
I don't like when a wet ingredients. Like, have you ever had someone make you a peanut butter sandwich with butter underneath the peanut butter?
That's how I eat my peanut butter
Oh,
sandwich.
right. Well, that's fucked. My best friend of 20 years tried to do that the other week. Someone I thought I
Why?
knew, she made me toast and she put butter on and peanut butter because it's combining two fats and you only need one fat, right?
They taste better when there's two.
No, this makes sense now why I shivered, because my body knew that there was two wet things on the sandwich.
All right, well, listen, I'm loving it, so hey. But what happened was, my mother had these 2 or 3 really good friends, and all of them had swimming pools, and we didn't. And so when they would have like a shopping day out on the weekend.
Sorry, I'm like, how's the swimming pools relate to this?
It is. So we would always get dropped off to this one particular friend of hers, and they had kids who were my sister's age and older, and I was much younger than all of them. And it was a whole day of swimming. Mm-hmm. And I was scared of drowning, and all the big kids would play on the deep side, and I would be alone here on the shallow side. And because my mother was very particular about what we ate and for health, like couldn't be processed. On that day, she didn't care. So what happened one time, I remember I was really hungry, but the older kids, especially my sister, they didn't really want to hear from me. And I didn't want to get teased and so on. So I remember I got out of the pool at this house, and the other memory I have is I had to wear my sister's old swimsuits. So the swimsuit used to regularly stay in the pool while I got out because it was. And that was the other thing that annoyed them. They were like, "Where's your swimming costume? Where is your swim?" And I'm like, so Carrie, I used to have to go like this. I went like this, and I was hungry, and I didn't want to get. I don't know. Did you grow up with older
I'm
kids?
the eldest. Yeah.
Right, but you seem very nice. But a lot of older kids, when they're together, can be quite mean to younger kids.
Yeah, well, I would make something like this and make my brother eat it, or
Right. Exactly.
I'd do things like get my brother to put on roller skates and try and make him cycle.
All that kind of stuff,
funny.
right? And the thing is, after a while, as a younger kid, you're like, nothing good is going to come from asking them for anything.
Yeah.
So I remember going into the kitchen of Khurshid Khala's house. That was my mother's friend, and we used to call her Khala, which is auntie in Urdu. And I was like, what am I going to eat? Now, we were strict vegetarians, and this was a Pakistani family, so we knew they ate meat. My mother had said to me, if you ever eat meat, you see what I do to you. So it was like, oh. So I was like very scared to eat anything that was cooked. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I remember I found bread. I found butter. I found ketchup and a bottle of pickles. And I didn't know how to cut the pickle, but I must have done something, so I don't think I put... Oh, no, it was sliced, round pickles, you know. It was, and I put the butter, and I put the ketchup, and I put the rounds of pickle, and I put another piece of bread, and I bit into it. Now, I don't think I've tasted anything that yummy in my life. But bear in mind, I had also not eaten for 8 hours.
Well, yeah.
But the thing is,
That makes anything taste better.
But the point is that moment of deep comfort, independence from the big kids, and a bunch of like stuff that immediately turns into sugar in your body, that's going to make you feel good.
Yeah,
And
if
it
I
made me
associate
feel great. And so it was very comforting. And then I just started eating ketchup sandwiches.
because you would bite into it and say it tastes like independence. This is the taste of
Independence
freedom.
and satisfaction and safety. And also I love ketchup, and it's all sugar and butter and bread. And the time I knew this was not a universal thing is the first time I tried to give one to my kids. I think they were 4, and they were like, what the they didn't swear, but they were like, if they swore, they'd be like, what in the fucking name of fucking food is this shit? They refused to eat it. And I was like, but it's a ketchup sandwich. And they were like, no. So
I think the fact even little children turn this down says a lot. But what I was thinking is...
it's not like little children are arbiters of good taste, okay?
That's true.
And
but,
gluten-free is making this a bit not as great.
yeah,
as
because
it could
this
be.
would... On, like
Like
white
Wonder bread,
ultra-processed bread, it would be better. Also, the twisted scientists haven't made this the way that you made it, because you said you sliced the pickle.
They were the round pickle things.
Yeah, this is like tiny, tiny little bits. And I like the attention to detail, but I think it would...
So are you saying that
better.
if this was on Wonder Bread kind of supermarket white bread,
Yeah.
and with big pickles, you'd love it?
Yeah, because I've tried to give up bread a lot of times before, a lot. But gluten serves one of the most important purposes in bread and giving it its amazing texture. And I've never found a gluten-free bread that isn't appalling.
Okay.
This is one of the worst ones. I didn't think it was real bread when it was
Well,
brought
I
out.
mean, listen, I didn't buy this bread. I mean, and if you ever have to have a gluten-free sandwich from me, I guarantee you, I have gluten-free bread that tastes like brioche.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, this feels like something that's come out of bin. I'm not going to say that every week.
I'm just saying, I'm not getting into it, but they're your producers, and you can cut that right out if you want.
When you first moved to England, did you move here for uni?
Yeah.
And were you disappointed by English foods? I feel
Well,
like
I was vegetarian, and I ate food in college, and I think it was the first time in my life that it had been suggested to me that peas and French fries were a vegetable option in a meal.
Yeah.
I'd just never experienced that in my life. I was like, oh. And baked potato was the vegetarian option. When I came here, I was 57 kilos. And when the first time I went back in December, I was 73 kilos.
Yeah, you hear a lot of Australians that move
Because
here
I
talk
just-
about gaining weight.
But I played basketball and I rode and I biked everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just the vegetarian food was all this stuff. So
Just starch.
yeah, and also pasta. That's what they
Yeah.
gave you if you're vegetarian. They didn't really have any, but unlike America, the college had a vegetarian food option. But I didn't mind because I love junk food. So I was like, I don't have a choice. I have to eat French fries for dinner. But then in December when I went back, my mother was like, what has happened to you? You are big as house. And then it was like, oh, I need to do something about this. She could not, because I'd never been big. She's like, ghar ki diwalein toot jayengi. She said, you should have told me, we would have had the walls moved. I was like, all right. But she genuinely could not understand. But then I told her, and she was like, well, you can't eat peas and French fries. It's not vegetables. What are you doing? But I think here's the things in food in the UK that I loved. Sticky toffee pudding. It was just so good. It was like a steamed pudding with sticky toffee stuff. I was like, this is heaven. Sticky toffee pudding.
You hear this all the time from people that dislike most forms of British food culture. Yeah,
Sticky toffee pudding is great. I love toast. So,
So that's all we've achieved. Toast.
toast, and of course biscuits and all, but I like chocolate chip cookies, and that doesn't happen here so much. But I would go to the rooms of my British friends, and no matter what you said, oh, I like a boy, they would say, let's have some toast and tea. or the boy broke up with me. Let's have a cup of tea and some toast. Like it was always the thing.
Yeah.
And I remember this Liz Potter. She said the term to me, lashings of butter and jam. And for me, until then, lashings had been a very bad thing, So then when I was like, oh, lashings, yes, lash. So these were these kind of things I first learned when I came to the UK, which you cannot pick up from books and stuff. Because we'd obviously read this famous 5 kind of books in India,
Yeah.
And I hated their food. I was like, who takes a tomato and a boiled egg on a picnic? What's wrong with these children? Where are their parents?
Oh yeah, egg sandwiches. That would be a British thing.
And let's
Is
go,
it?
Georgie. Let's go, George. Let's go for a picnic with a tomato and a boiled egg. I was like, are these? What is happening? Anyway, but then when you come here, you learn about toast, and of course, I love tea. But that was always for me comfort food, and I even now, if I'm having I'll get back from a bad gig, and I'll have a piece of toast with a lot of butter and marmalade, and I'll be like, that audience was shit. No, I don't say that. I say I was shit. And then the next day, I'm a little disappointed that you were so, I think the word is appalled by my sandwich.
Oh yeah,
But you know what? I'm
really
put it
not
on the doorstep of this bread, which was not exactly the bread that I ate it on. But I think the inner combination, it's taking a lot of self-control to not lick that off the thing on camera.
It shows how much your food memories are emotional, to be honest, because
Exactly.
it really reminds me of when I was a toddler and you'd be like, Mom, I've made you a sandwich. I got ingredients from the only cupboard that I could reach.
That's exactly what happened to me, though.
Yeah, it's horrible. Maybe because my mum was so disgusted at my homemade sandwiches. That's why.
I don't think I
brought up really painful memories for me as soon as I bit
I don't
into
think
it.
I ever told my mom about it because it was my, I was just hungry. How many slices of toast out of 5 would you give this?
None. Welcome back to What a Combo, where today I'm joined by comedian Sindhu Vee. Sindhu, it's now time for me to present you with a meal designed by our twisted food scientists. It's the twisted combo. Now, this is supposed to be something that the test kitchens carefully crafted to either shock, delight, or maybe appall you. Hopefully, it's not going to appall us. Right, you ready to see what this one is?
As long as it's not the bread from the sandwich. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's a lovely cake made of melon.
Oh.
I just show that to the camera.
Yeah, it's that's mustard.
Really nice presentation.
It's very, very beautiful.
Yeah,
but
that's mustard. And it's my least favourite fruit in the whole world.
You don't like watermelon?
No, I think it's got too vague a taste. Doesn't have a strong enough taste. I would eat watermelon flavoured candy.
No, bro, that has the flavor of sugar. That's not watermelon.
No,
we
they
need to get you the right
condense
watermelon.
it.
We need to get you the right. And also, I've got to tell you how to eat watermelon so you get the good stuff. But also, can we just? This is really not about the watermelon, Fern. This is about the fucking mustard.
I don't want to see. I really am not.
Did you tell them to do this?
No, I didn't tell them to do this. They've just brought this out for us.
And by the way, is this English or French mustard? Because the one has like psoriasis and the other one's like this.
My mouth doesn't care. It's doing that dribbly thing that you do just before you puke.
Don't be puking here. Go
sick.
puke in that direction.
But I'm willing to put
Who came up
faith-
with this idea?
Well, we've got these food scientists that come up with these weird combos. Is it good? Do you like it? Because based on
It's
your
not
last
horrific. I thought it would be like so gross. Once I had raw broccoli juice, I was going very healthy, and my kids were eating breakfast. No. Be strong. Do not throw up on me, man.
I'm not gonna.
No, just spit it
That's
out
a
in there.
knife.
Oh, okay. Here, spit it out in this.
Can I have the napkin?
Oh, I thought you just wanted, but then it's gonna go gooey.
I'm not gonna spit it out.
Oh, okay, fine.
I'm not gonna spit it out.
My kids were eating breakfast, and I had broccoli juice, and then the moment I put the glass down, I turned around and I hurled, and they were like, "That's gross." I feel like you're gonna hurl.
It's good if you've got a dry mouth. And one thing I'll say is, because I already felt like watermelon couldn't taste worse than it is, and this has improved it because it masks the taste of the melon a little bit.
I have to say the watermelon is helping the mustard not be. What is okay?
It kind of neutralises the taste of the melon, and it makes it taste like you're eating wet polystyrene or something.
Well, I mean, many watermelon have more taste than this one, although it's not that bad. Also, can we just for a moment talk about Stockholm Syndrome? We're in here, we're doing this show. They come and they put this in front of us. And we're like, I guess we have to eat it. How do I feel? Who the hell eats watermelon with mustard? Why are we even agreeing to this? Who came up?
Well, isn't it a bit like when you get miso brownies or something? It's meant to
Yeah.
be like that.
But this is not a fucking miso brownie.
If we were
First of all,
in a
miso brownie has
Michelin-starred
brownie.
restaurant and you put edible flowers on this or something,
Okay, but can
You
we
might
just,
be
I'm.
eating it.
This is how I'm.
you're not allowed to scrape the mustard off.
shit.
Sorry, that's
Sorry.
otherwise you're just eating a bit of melon.
Yeah, which I mean, okay, so now we're not even allowed to save ourselves. We just have to go for what they put in front of us.
Yeah.
By the way, miso brownie has brownie in it. If this was mustard brownie, I'd be like, okay. Or if it was miso watermelon would work.
Oh, I should
Do
tell
I have
you.
to finish this? Because I'm not going to.
I'd say
and
keep
I will
going.
hurl.
Keep going while I tell you about this combinations history. So everyone on the internet was actually going wild for this in 2021. I didn't think this was real.
No.
2021 was when we were in a lockdown.
Exactly what I was going to say. 2021, people were in a lockdown.
We were giving ourselves haircuts,
We were doing a lot more than giving ourselves haircuts.
TikTok dances.
No, we were teaching
Having a baby for a laugh.
We were trying to watch Zooms with our friends who are locked up with their husbands, seeing if they're signaling us that the husband is weird. Remember that? They taught you all the
Yeah.
hand signals, not to make fun of it, but some of your friends, you're like, you should be signaling me, I hate your husband. Do you know what I mean? That's how
yeah.
cuckoo we were going. Of course,
Yeah.
people were enjoying mustard and watermelon. Who would choose to eat this as a snack that was not on a podcast they were doing for a dear friend of theirs?
Have you had anything like this before? Does it remind you of anything?
Yeah, it reminds me of one of my kids being like, oh, one of my kids, his friends were over and they, something with chilies and grapes and whatever, I don't know, but they exploded the grapes in the microwave. That's the bit that pissed me off. Yeah. So, this is one of those things, like 12-year-old boys get together, they make this.
No. My second bite tasted a bit better.
Because the brain is going into survival mode.
Right.
The
No,
brain
honestly.
thinks that, well, this is food now, I may as well learn to love it.
Yeah, the second bit tasted... No, it was more like when you have your first sip of a wine, sometimes it doesn't taste good. And then when you have the second sip, it tastes a lot better.
Ah.
That's what this is like.
This or ketchup sandwich?
I would actually have this over the ketchup sandwich. Sorry.
Okay,
You look
okay,
really
that's-
offended.
It distresses me deeply.
I'm going to ask you some combos of foods.
Okay.
And I want you to basically... I'll say a dish and I want you to immediately reply what drink you're having with it.
Okay.
Veggie burger and fries.
Coke Zero.
Not Diet Coke.
No, God, no. Now that they have Coke Zero, why would you drink Diet Coke? It tastes awful.
Diet Coke tastes much better.
No, Coke Zero tastes like the real. No, Coke Zero tastes like the real thing. I understand if you don't like how Coke tastes, then you can have Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, I don't like how Coke tastes.
Yeah, but if you
Okay.
like normal full-fat Coke, then you drink Coke Zero. And if you just randomly like weird tasting liquids with fizz, Diet Coke's fine.
Red lentil dal. What drink are you having?
Red lentil dal. Who is eating masoor dal, first of all? What am I eating it with?
Rice? I don't know. Right,
Oh,
let's say
sorry.
rice.
Water. Just a glass of water.
Okay. Vegetable lasagna.
Oh, vegetable lasagna. Coke Zero.
Penny with pesto.
Penne with pesto. I mean, I'll drink Coke Zero. I don't really drink very much else with like food.
So, this isn't going to replace your first choice of peanut butter and banana. How would you rate this? Do you think it's a good combo? It didn't grow on you. I can see you've not finished it.
How would I rate it out of what?
Out of 5, or at all, did you enjoy it? Would you ever eat it again?
It's a hard 0 from me.
Okay, yeah, you did try and cheat it by
I
scraping
tried
the
and then I
mustard
put it
off.
back on, but that didn't do it. I mean, no, it's terrible. This thing takes so many wonderful things and fucks them up that it's a combination of how to get it all wrong.
I can't believe they tried to sell it to us as if it was a thing people did.
I mean, mustard is a condiment. I get it. Watermelon is a fruit. I get. By the way, if you put ketchup on this watermelon, I'd have eaten all of it. Because mustard is also doing itself no favors, you know? It's like the teenager who comes in the room and they haven't bathed and they have BO. You're like, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're already bad company and now you stink. Go and have a shower. This mustard is like that. Because mustard is not like ketchup. You know, ketchup's a bit sugary. Mustard's like, you gotta really like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's anyway self-selecting. And this one is got like, doesn't even have the, well, I don't think it would make a difference if it was that other weird mustard with the dots in it. Did I call that psoriasis earlier? Oh my God, that's very bad. But anyway, in the defense, I have psoriasis. Here you go. But anyhow, just so you feel like I don't want anyone to feel bad, I feel like I can say this. But see, mustard already self-selects itself out of most food. And watermelon is just minding its business. You know, it's a kind of a crunchy fruit. As far as you're concerned, it kind of doesn't really have any taste.
Food.
I think watermelon can be good. Here's what you should do with watermelon. Cut it and cut like a slice like that in half. Mm-hmm. Stick it in the freezer. And when it freezes, take it out and grate it.
Oh.
And then just put like a little bit of chili flakes and a bit of like maybe sugar syrup or honey if you want. Mm-hmm. And then you just have that cold. Just like frozen grapes. It just elevates them.
I'll try it, but I don't know. I just think I'd really struggle to have anything. This is actually one of the only times in my life where a melon has tasted better. So I'm going to give it a higher rating than you. I'm going to give this 2. 2 out of 5. How's that? But on the whole, the twisted scientists have failed, and I hope I don't keep getting given stuff like this.
You know when they say an innocent passerby, a crime was committed on an innocent passerby, this watermelon is an innocent passerby in this story, and a crime has been committed because the mustard is not a friendly thing anyway. I feel like that's what's going on here.
You're right, mustard isn't a friendly thing.
No, it's not a friendly thing.
That's so true.
Yeah, and it's assaulting this poor watermelon, is just minding its business.
Right, that's it from me and Sindhu. Thank you so much for doing it.
You know, despite this thing, it's been a pleasure. I love hanging out with you. I love all the other, but this was, I hope in the future when you do these, you get better combos than this.
Oh, me too. You can join me next week where I'm going to be putting the vegan internet chef Callum Harris through his foodie paces. And you can head over to Twisted Socials for more about the show. Bye.